Good evening, everybody. Welcome in for Microfleet Collectors 122. This is Kevin with Kevin's Microfleet, and we've got Cole here. Cole, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing real good. Been a crazy week, both with life and trying to suddenly fit in a lot of toy hunting.
Oh my gosh, I know, man. I tell you what, it has been an infuriating week for me
Oh
watching
man,
everybody find all these things, and I've fortunately got something today, but yeah, not the big stuff that you got. I can see it right there, just on the edge
oh
of the
no,
screen.
it's
You got to
behind my
show
name.
it. Oh man, I can't wait to get that thing.
We'll get to
Uh,
that.
yeah. So, what have you had going on, man? What's been going on in your life over the last week?
We'll get to that. Just it's one of those weeks where all of your work stuff kind of collides.
Mhm.
Family stuff gets crazy.
Yeah.
Other people's stuff just collides with your world, and
Hmm.
then you've got all this other craziness going on with micro galaxy stuff, and
That's right.
it's been wild. But yeah, I was
Hey, Luke, David.
a little successful this week. So with my
Yeah.
very limited time to hunt, I was slightly successful.
Steve, what's up? Rich, welcome, Rich.
Some might argue less successful than you were, though. From my point of view, you might have been more successful.
Well, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, little tease there.
I know. Yeah, I definitely have some stuff to show off, which I'm excited about. So, just got back from Target Run. No luck yet. I know. I tell you what. So the one thing that's been interesting with the Target runs is, you go and you ask somebody, you show them the TPCI or the UPC, and they scan it, and it says zero on hand, zero on the floor, zero in the back, but then it says a couple on hand, and so it's like it'll show two on hand or four on hand or something like that, and like
It's somewhere, right?
yeah,
It's
I'm like,
somewhere.
oh, I can see that, and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's probably back there somewhere, but I had luck one time for somebody going back there and saying,
Yeah, they don't
oh,
want to.
it's on the
Yeah,
10-6 transition, so I can't take it off of there right now. I'm like,
that's legitimate. I get that.
yeah, for
Because
sure.
the on the other hand, it's also about as infuriating. It might be more infuriating when you find something that's street dated on the
Yeah.
shelf, and then you have that horrible customer experience at the front where they snatch it from your hands and tell you,
Mhm.
"Sorry, you can't purchase this."
Yeah, I know. That is a bummer. I still can't believe that that actually happens where it's like I'm
So yeah,
literally like,
it's pretty
hey,
silly. I knew the pod racers beforehand. I knew those were street dated.
yeah.
Um, I did not remember or know whatever that the new the Shin re-release that's at Target,
Hmm. What are
the
you talking
Black
about?
Series.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She
Gotcha.
has a
Yeah.
cloak this time.
I
I
did.
skipped him on the first go around for some
Yeah,
reason, and it ended up being okay because now I get the one with the cloak on both of them.
right.
But I spent, Kevin, I bet I spent 20 minutes or more going through that whole case of 8 figures, trying
Wow.
to just, every minute detail. Which one of these is the one? Finally
Gotcha.
settled on one, and then got to the front, and he was like, "Sorry, I can't sell this. Sorry, I can't sell you this.
Oh
Sorry,
no.
I can't sell you this." I'm like, dude. He picks up one little $2.49 clearance blind box and says, "This one's okay." And I said, "You know what? Why don't you just keep that?" And
Yeah.
I left.
Oh man, what a
Um,
bummer.
I get it. It's their job. They don't want to. It was pretty frustrating. They
Yeah.
can't do any. Even they think it's silly most of the time, But they whatever they've done in the last few years where they've really cracked down on it.
Hmm.
Those employees are usually scared for their life when they see that. So
Yeah, sure. I certainly
they've
get that.
they've put the fear of God in them somehow. It used to not be that big a deal. Like I would say it was 50-50 whether I could um, check out with a street dated item several years
Hmm.
ago,
Yeah.
and that is not the case anymore. It's a big time deal for them for whatever reason.
No kidding. Yeah, I
Yeah.
certainly have had that. I've had mixed results. in the past. Although, to be honest, I don't know that I've found a whole lot that's been street dated. It seems like
Really?
for my area, for whatever reason, nothing gets out onto the floor unless it is that transition date. I mean, I haven't seen anything out that I can't
Your crews are just on it, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, it's got to be.
On the other hand, it's like the overachievers that are just pushing the product down as soon as it comes in. They don't even realize they're supposed to hold it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, it's in, put it out.
Yeah,
So
and I've certainly
I see that side of it too, where they're like, it's here, we're putting it out, you know.
yeah, and I've seen, I would say definitely over the past probably 6 to 8 months or so, the, Target reps have been way less helpful than they were previously.
I think there's probably less of them in
Mhm.
general in the store.
Mm,
At least from just the checkout experience in the last year or so.
yeah,
I think there's just less employees in the store at any given time, and they're having to do the same amount of work. So
gotcha.
they do seem less. They're a little
Less
less
helpful.
likely to just stop what they're doing and waste 10 minutes helping you out.
Yeah. Yeah, which is interesting because they have those signs up that says, "Ask somebody if you need help." Um, but then it's like, well, if you ask somebody, it's kind of a
Yeah.
toss up on whether or not you're going to get help.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say, if they did like Walmart does, where it's like you just get it and just put it on the shelf somewhere, they would have less of that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Walmart certainly seems like it's not like they're putting out, they get a case of six and they only put four out. They put all six out. They might just put them up on the top.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the move right now is if you find something like that, like I found the pod racers and I didn't do it. I didn't really care. I know I've got one coming in the mail
Hmm.
at some point. But if you do go through and find one that you like, the one like one that's exceptional, paint, no issues with it,
Yeah.
um, just hide it and come back for it.
Hmm.
Now come back for it. Don't hide it and never go back. Because
Yeah.
that's a whole other issue. But I think I did that with a ghost, found one I loved
Hmm.
compared to the other three that were there, and just set it behind some big item I knew wasn't going to go anywhere, and came back a couple days late. Came back that Sunday afternoon and checked out with that one.
Yeah.
Um, but the deal I've run into several times now is when you try to check it out, they immediately take it to whoever the manager is around customer service. They're on the radio. They're like, "Hey, I've got this item. You need to pull these from the shelf." And they're on it immediately, grabbing the
Mm,
stuff off and taking it from the back. Um,
really?
yeah. So it definitely seems like a big deal. So if you find one you really want, that you like, just find a great place to hide it and do come back for it.
Mm,
Don't just throw their inventory off.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's
But
been an
man,
issue.
tell you what, Kevin,
What?
those pod racers look great.
I know. I'm very
They
excited
look
to get those
great.
in hand.
Have you found one in person?
No, I have not.
Oh man, dude, the deco, man, it's really they're really stepping it up. I think the T-6 looks
Hmm.
great. Looks a lot better than the promo photos.
Yeah.
The red isn't quite as bright and saturated as it looked in the photos.
Hmm.
And man, the pod racers look amazing. The detail, like the amount of colors that's on them. I mean, it to me when I see them, I don't mind that around what they're charging for them. I know that they will probably go on clearance at some point. That's just the nature of.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not even Micro Galaxy. It's the nature of almost all of Target exclusives right now. They overorder all of them, and they end up on clearance at some point. But I don't mind the price point they're at because after seeing them, they look incredible. The weathering is just the right amount. The deco is really detailed, really like multiple, like tons of colors going on them. The micro figures in person are wild. Like it's crazy what they're able to do with and at the same time you've got the Hu Yang backpack that's
Hmm.
absolutely crazy. Just tiny, tiny stuff they've got going on with the details. So it's a great weekend for Micro Galaxy because that's some really, really, really cool stuff that's coming out, and like just top tier stuff, especially right off the heels of the Ghost, which was
Mhm.
already one of the best things. But I'll gush about the T6 later.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think it's been cool to see over the past few series how they've really improved. And it's the same thing even with the Clash of Carcoon. I mean, the Clash of Carcoon, the actual skiffs themselves, seeing them in hand, they look way better than the Series 6 or the Series 5 like standard release.
And you're not paying anymore for them.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah, it's
it's
only
basically the price
22 bucks.
of two.
Hmm.
No, it's less. Those were light armor, right? So
Yeah, light
it's
armors
it's
like it
basically
ends
the
up being
price of two
15
of them, but
bucks.
you're
Yeah.
getting, I wouldn't say significantly more, but you're getting more detail and weathering and deco on them than the others had, and you're getting multiple new figure molds, which is great.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, none of them are well, sorry, I take that back.
The
Chewbacca
Luke
is the
probably
only
has some reuse.
yeah.
Chewbacca reused,
Yep.
but Lando looks great, super
Yeah.
detailed, and that's something that they probably will never be able to use again. I mean, unless they do some kind of big set.
Mhm.
Um, you're getting that's where you get that figure, and it will likely not show up anywhere else. So I think the price point is pretty great for that, considering the extra paint, extra detail, the figures. I assume we're going to see that Boba Fett in a Slave One repaint at some point.
Yep.
If they don't do that, that's crazy money left on the table.
Yeah, well, I know that there had been a discussion in the past in a previous interview that we will see a Boba Fett starship in the Return of the Jedi um deco as well as with that figure. So or sorry, no, the Empire Strikes Back and it
I
will
was gonna
have
say
the
that I hope it's Empire Strikes Back because I think they can reuse the exact same Boba Fett they just made,
yes.
but just paint
Yeah.
it slightly different, and then you've got Return of the Jedi and Empire with just a few paint changes.
Yep. Yeah, the Empire one, and it would come with the stand as well. That was what was mentioned. So that is something that's potentially coming down the pipeline, which was
Yeah,
something that was mentioned too that they had wished they had done with the original release. That it just doesn't look. I mean, it looks okay sitting down on the table the way it is, but when it's up in that flight position,
yeah,
man, it looks awesome.
yeah.
It looks
Whole
really
different ball game when that's the look. It's
yeah.
such a unique, iconic look with it upright.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's how I have mine. A Kevin Tanner original, I believe, stand with that
Oh,
one.
nice. Yeah. Yep, that was one of the first stands I ever designed where I was like, "This thing just needs to stand upright." Oh, yeah, there it is.
I think
I
that's
can see
it.
it. Yep, yep. Nice. That looks great. Yeah,
It does.
mine's somewhere over there, hidden in the
Keep making
dark.
stands, Kevin.
I know, I've got a few, man. I've got a few stands and a few hangers for sure. I'll definitely try to do some for the E-wing now that I've got the E-wing, which
Well,
would
I'll tell
be
you what you need to work on.
yeah,
T6.
I know. Once I get one in hand, I am definitely 100% doing one for the T6.
That one desperately
Yeah,
needs a stand.
the vertical one. Yeah, I've got
Again,
some
I feel
ideas
like
about
vertical is it's like vertical is the cooler look for it.
yes.
That's how I would like to display it, and it's not happening without some kind of stand. So honestly, it's I think it's going to be interesting to see what people come up with for that, to have a stand that holds it vertically, that's not intrusive.
Yes.
I do think it's because the weight and how tall it is, because it's huge, Kevin.
Yeah.
Very, very large.
I know that's where I want to get it in hand to be able to see how I could do it. I was thinking about doing something similar to the B-wing stand that I have, where you could potentially get that to you could pose it in different positions. But I do feel like it's probably too heavy to be able to do something specifically like that. But we'll see. We'll see once I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks sweet, man. I can't wait. Can't wait to have my hands on it.
We've kind of touched on a couple things. What would you like to dive into first?
Gosh, man, it doesn't
Should
really.
should we just run before we start show and tell?
Yeah.
Should we just run through the round one results? Just quick fire here through the results, and let me tell you who won these won this round one.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Here we go.
I'll pop them off. You tell me, Kevin. You tell me who you think won.
Okay, go ahead.
We've got the Imperial Combat Assault Tank versus the says Mbaran Starfighter.
The combat tank.
Correct. Pretty close. 54. The Turbo Tank versus the Tri-Fighter.
Turbo tank.
Correct again. 60%. Naboo Royal Starship versus the Clone Wars version of the AAT.
Say that one more time. Which one?
The Naboo Royal Starship versus the Clone Wars version of the AAT.
The Royal Starship.
A pretty wide margin, yeah. Big time.
Nice.
The Hailfire droid versus the Resistance bomber.
Hailfire.
Exactly. Man, you're nailing it.
Nailing it.
We'll see when we get to some of these that were 50-50.
Yeah.
The Armored Transport Hauler versus the Stinger Mantis.
Oh, man, I don't know what either one of those are offhand. I think the Stinger. Is the Stinger one of the new ones?
It's the Jedi games. Jedi Survivor, Jedi...
oh, probably that one.
What's the other game? It was that one by a wide margin, yep. The Patrol Gunship, the Imperial Gunship versus the Clone Wars Y-Wing.
Wow, that's a tough one.
It is a terrible matchup.
I know which one I want. I want the Imperial Gunship.
I want that too, Kevin.
Yeah. The Y-Wing one, though.
The Y-Wing one. Barely. Yeah. Sentinel... Let me double check that. Yes, the Y-Wing one. It's unfortunate. I really want that gunship.
I know.
I don't know if that's on their radar. I feel like if I'm just going to bring it up enough and try to manifest that into the lineup here in a couple waves.
Yeah. Well, I've got one 3D printed, so at the very least, you can go that route.
Okay. Well, I might need to get with you on that. The Sentinel class landing craft versus Kylo Ren shuttle.
The Sentinel class.
Correct. Trailblazer versus Green Ace. Kevin, how familiar are you with the children's cartoon program Star Wars Resistance?
I'm not that familiar, but the ships look really cool.
They are cool designs. I agree. The show was very, it was whatever. The ships were really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dog it because it was for kids, but
that one.
Yeah. This one, Kevin, 1% between these. And the Trailblazer one.
All right.
Barely beat it. ARC 170. I hear about it almost every post in the comments.
It doesn't matter what the other one is, the ARC 170.
Poor TIE Striker never stood a chance. Almost 80% ARC 170.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Archangel, which I believe is Dr. Afro's ship.
Okay.
Versus the Infantry Support Platform. Another very close one.
Oh, man. I would say the first one.
The Infantry Support Platform won that one.
Oh, man. That's the first one I've gotten wrong so far.
It is. Two of them that I don't think will ever be made.
Yeah.
That one's getting knocked out next round for sure.
Yeah.
Fireball versus the Fondor Hallcraft.
Fondor.
Fireball, sure. Another resistance ship, I believe. The main character ship, I think. Did not stand a chance. People want the Fondor Hallcraft.
Oh, yes.
Almost 80%. Awesome. TIE Dagger versus the Geonosian Starfighter, which we've seen. Man. We've seen.
Yeah, but that's such a hard one.
We don't know if it's coming. They could have pulled it, I don't know.
What was the first one again? It was the Dagger?
TIE Dagger versus the Geonosian Starfighter. Pretty close race.
Geonosian Starfighter.
TIE Dagger 1.
Oh no.
Man, I don't know about that Geonosian Starfighter. We'll see if that shows up.
Yeah, it does look awesome.
It exists. I don't know how. When they have those prototypes like that,
Yep.
I don't in the product sample.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's like, okay, they made the, is that the tooling is made for that? So,
right.
We saw the one time, and I don't know how far in that production process that would be. If the tooling is already made, we're gonna see it at some point. It's just a matter of them finding a place to put it in there. I don't think you sink all that money into it and not produce it, but who knows?
Yeah, but you could do an awesome Clone Wars battle pack of some sort.
At the very least, yeah. At the very least. Palpatine shuttle versus the B-Wing prototype, the Blade Wing.
Oh, man. I want the Blade Wing. But I don't know which one's going to win.
Palpatine shuttle took it.
Oh, bummer.
The TIE Defender versus the Xanadu Blood. Cad Bane ship.
Defender easily.
Pretty easily, 73%. TIE Defender.
Really?
We got to get it.
I would have thought it was way higher than that.
We got to get. Yeah, man. I don't know. That's interesting that there's that many people out there that want that, but we know it's potentially coming because it was in some leaks.
Yeah, and there's 3 of them that you can do.
I think it should not come, but that's just me. I worry about it.
Yeah.
The Twilight versus the Black Ace.
The Black Ace looks awesome.
The Black Ace is amazing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are going to pick Twilight, though.
They are. Legends people, man, are so... they're so hardcore. Kevin?
Yeah?
The AT-M6. That big, ugly, oversized gorilla walker from Last Jedi legs versus Carson Teva, our boy.
Oh, yeah. Carson Teva.
The AT-M6 took it by 1%.
No way! Oh my gosh. That would be cool to see it in
travesty.
Its scale.
Now,
it would be cool to see it in its scale, but that does stink for Carson Teva.
Man. What an upset. Also, the seating, I did not do the seating. There's a few of these matchups that are a little questionable. Putting up a repaint X-Wing versus a massive Walker that's mostly new, probably not the best matchup or the most fair matchup for Carson Teva. Definitely not the most fair matchup.
He still wins in my
according
heart.
To Paul.
Yeah.
You may not have won the poll, but you have won our hearts.
That's absolutely right.
We've always got next year. I actually think at this point they probably ought to just wait for the Mando and Grogu movie, and he's got to be in it, right? He's got to be in it. The Nick Fury of the Mandoverse.
Yep.
He's got to be in it. My guess is put whatever his ship in that looks like, and I don't want to wait that long either. I know, but that probably makes the most sense. I guess you could put it out for Ahsoka.
Sure.
I don't even know. That is something we haven't seen yet. When something pops up in multiple series or movies or something like that, now that they do the media logo on it, I wonder how they decide which one wins out in that. Is it the first appearance? Is it screen time?
Yeah,
could be
probably
cool
the one that's the coolest.
Millennium Falcon Solo Edition versus the AT-AP. Very close race.
Solo is what I want.
The AT-AP took it by 2%.
No way.
Yes.
The Solo one, I think, will come in the future. There's no way that they don't do that.
Because all they have to do is create a little thing that snaps in.
Yeah. And then you have to cover up a couple of the panels or whatever. There's no way that they don't do that. I mean, it was hinted at again at some point. There were questions about it, like, "Oh, would you guys like to see this one?"
We'll see. That was then. This is now.
Yeah. I don't see how you could not. I feel like that's such an easy one to get
Yeah.
out there. The one that
We'll
they
find
did,
out.
the one
I'm
that
not the
Disney
biggest
Store
fan of the
released.
ship, but I do think
Yeah.
the lighter shade and the blue would pop really
Blue
nicely
looks
on the shelf,
awesome. Yeah, dude,
especially after seeing this new U-wing.
you don't have the Disney version of it, do you?
Yes.
The Disney Solo one, like the one that was the action fleet size or whatever.
No.
Oh
Sorry, I
man,
thought you were talking about the Batu Falcon.
no. But yeah, I'll grab that here in a minute. It looks awesome. It looks really good.
Zeta class shuttle versus the Justifier.
I don't know what either of those are. So the Zeta class shuttle.
Zeta class shuttle took it pretty wide margin. The old quad jumper versus the Republic dropship.
The Republic dropship.
Absolutely. The people demand it. Now that
Yeah.
we've got that thing, we've got to have
Oh yeah, that was like a super. How big was the margin on that?
pretty wide. About 75%. Quad jumper's cool, but I'm not like clamoring for it.
Yeah.
Another Kevin, over 1,000 votes in this by the time we closed it.
Wow. No kidding.
The fact that 4 or 5 of these could have come down to a 1% difference, it blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It does not seem statistically plausible, let's say, that would happen. There's 5 of these races that were neck and neck, which is wild to me. Houndstooth versus the VT-49 Decimator. Are you familiar with these?
The Houndstooth, yes. The other one, no. But I would say it's going to be the Houndstooth.
That's what I would have thought. The Decimator took it by 0.6%.
0.6?
Yes,
Wow.
0.6%. Less than a percent.
Super tight margin.
Yeah. I really wanted the Houndstooth. That's such an interesting... That era of Legends has some really cool stuff in it. The Hyena Bomber versus the TIE Reaper. Reaper. Dooku's Solar Sailor versus the IG-2000.
Anything other than the Solar Sailor, please.
IG-2000 took it by 2%.
Jeez, thank goodness.
The ATDP, which we hope is still coming, versus the homing spider droid.
That's a tough one, but I would say tough. The ATDP.
What do you think the size is on that homing spider droid?
The homing spider droid, probably, it could be a starship class. It's not that much bigger than probably the X-Wing.
Okay. Starfighter or Starship?
Starfighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
The homing spider droid did take it.
Wow, no kidding.
Ben Quadraneros Pod Racer versus Red Leader's X-Wing.
Quadraneros.
Red Leader X-Wing took it.
Oh no! Your hope of Quadraneros has crashed and burned even worse.
Listen, 55 to 45. I still feel pretty good about it. Yeah. The Libertine luxury yacht versus the Cloud Car.
Cloud Car. By
a mile. That was one of the few changes I personally asked for was the ARC 170 and the Cloud Car cannot go up against each other.
Yeah,
that cannot happen.
That's a tough one.
The Ebon Hawk versus the Grand Inquisitor's TIE Advanced.
I think the Ebon Hawk is going to win, but I like the other one more.
Somewhere Nostalgic Adam is getting the tingles. The Ebon Hawk won.
Yeah.
55-45. But I got to say, Grand Inquisitor's TIE Advanced 45 is pretty impressive. I also voted for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Legends people. That's not even Legends. What is that, gaming?
Yeah, I don't even know where that fits in the world.
I guess we call it gaming. I don't know. Legends gaming. I really like the Grand Inquisitor's TIE Advance for some reason. And I think it's just another Any extra Rebel ships we can get in there, I'm all for.
Super easy one to do too.
I really hope we see it. Yeah, and it gets they honestly they could potentially reuse the Inquisitor from the Scythe if they wanted to.
Yep.
Seeing how they reused Maul this last time, that's definitely fair game for reuse. I think. Fury class Imperial Interceptor versus the MTT. Now you've 3D printed one of these, right?
The which one?
The MTT.
Yes. What was the first one again?
The Fury class Imperial Interceptor.
Yeah, I think the MTT.
It did win, yes.
Yeah.
ATOT versus the J-type diplomatic barge.
I don't know what either of those are.
Diplomatic barge took it. Outrider's
going to win.
Versus regardless. The Corporate Alliance tank droid.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Outrider.
The Corporate Alliance tank droid did not win. Outrider by 66%. Not a total blowout.
Yeah.
But listen, this crowdfunding thing, did the crowdfunding thing happen after? That happened after our last live stream, right?
It did, yeah.
Jot that down. We got to talk about that.
Yep.
TX-130 fighter tank versus Starspeeder 1000.
Starspeeder.
TX-130 fighter tank, 67.5%. Shocking to me.
That's the Saber tank, right?
These people did not grow up going to Disney World, I guess. Unbelievable. You uncultured swine. I think the Starspeeder 1000 would be an amazing parks.
Yeah, who would you
exclusive.
have with it? What figures would you have with it?
Batu Falcon. You'd have the droids. Just the droids.
Nice.
They can do a thing like Hasbro did, where the like create your own figure.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Like 3D print and paint your own figure. Put yourself in the Starspeeder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just throw some repainted droids in there and it'd be great.
We'll talk Series 7 in a little while.
An interesting one here. The Wookiee Catamaran versus the B-28 Extinction Class Bomber.
Gosh, I would love to see the Catamaran. I think it would be really cool, but I think the other one's going to win.
The Wookiee Catamaran with 53%.
Nice.
Took it.
That's great.
Kevin, what a weird entry into the line that would be. And yes. I want it so badly now that it's like been put in there in my brain. I want it. I want it so bad.
It would be
Jazzwares. Cool. I don't know if these will sell at all.
They probably won't.
I don't know if they will sell.
Yeah.
But I want it. Make me that Catamaran. Use the same Wookiee mold 4 times and just repaint a bunch of different Wookiees. I don't even care. Make me that weird vehicle.
That would be awesome.
Last one.
Okay.
Ski Speeder, another Last Jedi ship, versus the T-16 Skyhopper.
Oh my gosh, T-16 for sure.
Is the T-16 Skyhopper Legends?
No,
because we see a toy of it.
We do. It actually is. It's in the background of when he's doing the oil bath with C-3PO.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting right there in the hangar.
T-16 Skyhopper with 80.3%. And Kevin, I'm not positive. That might be the biggest blowout of the poll.
Oh, that's great.
Which is surprising, only considering that that's a massive scene in a numbered movie, which is very beloved by half of Star Wars fans.
You're talking about the Ski Speeder?
Yeah.
Oh, that vehicle sucks. It's a good thing that didn't advance.
How do we win, Kevin?
You can't.
How do we
figure out some way to get something that comes down and then shoots red stuff up?
Not by fighting what we hate, but by saving what we love.
Yeah, there you
And the
go.
people love the T-16 Skyhopper.
Yes, they do.
Got to be coming. That had an Action Fleet version, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Overall, only a few like real big surprises. The Carson Tava thing is a
Yeah,
bummer
that's
to me, but
bummer.
it was not a fair matchup at all. That was probably the biggest mismatch in terms of a repaint starfighter going up against a brand new massive mold. And if you're wondering where some of the like the larger ships, like a sail barge or sandcrawler or something like that, I think I'm going to do a separate poll.
Hmm.
Um, maybe when we I don't know. We'll see where this crowdfunding thing goes.
Yeah, so that is interesting that you brought that up. So we can spend some time chatting about that right now. So when the V19 came out on Vault and it went live, it didn't go live right at time, which was interesting. So it did take like 30 seconds or so for it to kick in. Once it kicked in, though, the first thing it said was back this project. Did you get it that way? Did it show up that way for you?
Yes. So when I first logged on, it said it did not say pre-order. It did not say add to cart. It said back this project.
Right.
But that was about it, I believe. That was the only
Yes.
difference.
Yeah, and so I
I
clicked on
still
back this
added, and I
project.
think the cart looked relatively similar when I got to the cart, correct?
Yeah.
Is that your experience?
Yeah, it did. Mine got all jacked up though. Again, I don't know what happened, but my whole checkout experience sucked for whatever reason. And I think it was because it was a back this project thing that it didn't actually have my shop information.
Mine was not
So
available either. It was a little weird for me too.
so like I got to the checkout and then I had to re-enter all my information and everything. And then once I logged back in, I saw that it popped up and it said add to cart or pre-order is what it said.
Pre-order or pre-sale or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Very, very strange.
Yep.
Um, a lot of people had a lot of feelings about it. We did not necessarily know it was a pre-order until right before, I believe.
Hmm.
The something on the page or some of the wording, some stuff like that changed, and it started saying pre-sale or pre-order,
Yeah.
um,
I did
which
see
is
that too.
a
That
little bit of
popped
a
up.
bummer. I wish we had known that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if that it said basically January 1st, right?
Yes, it did.
I don't know if that's a placeholder. They could be shipping them out in 2 weeks. They could be shipping them out in 2 months. I don't know. I think that might just be like we see this a lot right now with all these pre-sales happening with shipping stuff where they don't know exactly when things are going to come in,
Mhm,
ports getting backed up. My guess is that was a safe guess to put on there,
mhm.
and we might see it before then. I hope that's the case. I might
Well,
try to
didn't
reach out and see if we can find out if there's any updated timeline at some point that they might be able to share with us on that one. A
but
little bit
didn't
of a
it pop
bummer.
up and it said October 25th? I've seen some stuff that says like this is crowdfunded until October 25th, and then on it could ship October 25th or earlier.
There was some weirdness going on.
Have you seen that?
Um, so I don't know if you saw my post about it a day or two later. I'm gonna look it up here. I should have sent this picture to you. But uh, we on the MGS side got the button with the back this project
Yeah.
deal. Over on the AEW side, they
Mhm.
got a full on um, back this project like page after the product went up. And this has percent funded, time remaining blank days, ending on no info. And then it says this pre-order will be available to ship on or before October 25th. Pre-orders
Hmm.
available for US customers only. And then it has the back this project button. And then down at the bottom, it says this crowd-funded project will run from to I'm not misspeaking. It says this crowdfunded project will run from to October 25th. If successful, the project will begin shipping October 2024.
Yeah, that was the same thing that I saw, but I
So
thought that
this
was
was from the AEW side.
huh.
I don't think, I would not say that the torrent is a crowdfunded item. I think this is a mistake
No.
that was not supposed to happen. The molds, like we've seen it, the molds exist. They're not like crowdfunding this so that they can make the molds. That's how a lot of these other things work, with the ghost and the sail barge and things like that. They need the money basically, and they want to know how many people so that they can make the molds, and they get all the tooling made, and then they start the production process, which is why it's like a year and a half before we see these things. It's not 2 months and you've got a ghost in your lap. These are, the tooling is done. They might already even be made.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it's a pre-sale and it's coming a couple months down the line. I would not, and they charged up front. I would not call this a crowdfunded item, but the level of detail on this crowdfunding page that is on the back end of their website absolutely tips their hand that this is something they're playing with or working on.
Yeah.
100%. Now, I don't think it confirms that one is going to happen, but they're at least at the stage that they are doing actual work on the back end of the website to make sure that they are able to do this, which I think is, they've got to be pretty close, right? If you're to the point where things can go live on the back end of your sales page and they've got this stuff built in to the website, you've got to be at a point where you're pretty close to deciding we want to pull the trigger on some kind of crowdfunded project. Now, if they go with AEW first or Star Wars, who knows? It could be Halo. I doubt it, but they've got a lot of properties they could play with for crowdfunding. They could do like Mattel did and do a AEW ring, and make the whole ring and a cage and whatever, tables to smash. I don't really know what they do, but
That would be great.
they've got to be far enough in the process that this is something they're mulling over. And if they're this far, my gut is the teams have probably pitched products to the higher ups of what they could see happening, what like potential crowdfunded projects. So my mind goes to those larger things like a Tantive 4, Home 1, some kind of scaled down Star Destroyer that we've seen on some of the boxes. Maybe a sail barge, even though I think you could potentially fit a sail barge into Dreadnought.
Yeah. I think to be honest, the sail barge could be assault class. That would fit in perfect with the skiff too. It's not that much bigger than the skiff is.
Yes, assault or Dreadnought, I think you could probably do. Sandcrawler, it just depends on the detail inside. It's large. I think that could also be Dreadnought, but it's pretty big. So if I'm them, I think like a prime candidate for a crowdfunding project is the Outrider.
Yeah.
Where hardcore fans are very outspoken. They want it. It's something that a lot of fans want, but I don't know what demand there is for it on a general public level. I don't. I'm in the community all the time, Discord servers, everything. I see it, but I don't know what your average kid walking to, the average person, even not even a kid, may not even remember or know that Shadows of the Empire existed.
Yeah, agreed.
So I don't know what that sitting on a Target shelf does, but if you put it online in this format and say, put your money where your mouth is and say, we need to sell 10,000 of these for it to be made, then it's on you if it doesn't happen. I think it's It's almost like a not a way to shut fans up, but it's like, hey, this is a cool item, but it's on you if you want it to be made. You have got to fund it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do agree that did we talk about that last time? How
Yeah, we
fun
did
the
talk
sail
about that.
barge music would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
fun.
I think it would be interesting in a crowdfunding scenario like that because you really do get a chance to take the pulse of the community. Because I think, like we've talked about before with the chases and rares, and a lot of our challenges of being able to find them, and then the sets coming out, the collections, that it's like of those ones. I mean, especially with the series 4, I thought that was like, man, I was expecting the light armor to sell out fast. And the fact that it stayed up there for over an hour is one where it's like maybe the pulse of the community is not that deep, but us, like all of us that are on this right now and in the pages and the ones that actually participate are like super into it and want it.
Yeah.
But I think
And
like
how
we,
many is that really?
yeah, exactly. I mean, are we talking hundreds, thousands? The 15,000, it's interesting now, like getting a chance to see. And it's just such a shame that Target dropped light armor class because if Target still had light armor class,
Yeah.
all of our chase rare problems would be fixed.
Things
We
would be
wouldn't have
so
any
different.
issues.
They dropped it at the worst imaginable time
Yeah, exactly.
because Series 4 was great.
Yep.
Series 5 pretty good.
Yep. Series 5 is great as
Series
well.
6 very good.
Yep. Series 6 will be another great one.
Um, and then it's put a lot of stress on the collector market because there's so few of these to go around, and you have to wait who knows how many months now for the collector's box set to come out.
Yeah, I know. Which is a shame too, because it's like the same thing with Vader, especially for those collectors that like to have one out and one in the box. Well, now you got to buy two of those sets, and it's like, man, what am I gonna do with all those commons? I don't really need them. So
It feels to me like Canada got a lot.
they did get a lot. They got a
Stores
lot.
getting multiple Dark Empire E-Wings and stuff like that
Yeah.
was pretty crazy. Like, I don't know what an actual
Which
case assortment would have looked like there, but seeing a
yeah,
number of those posts where people hit a few stores and found so many chases and rares from that set is
yeah,
really crazy to me.
agreed.
I if I'm them, it's an issue. I feel like it's an issue. You're not getting that product out to people. You can buy it on Amazon. It's easy to buy those on Amazon, but they don't have the chases and rares. And chases and rares are already an issue with the fan base.
Yeah,
At that point, I think you either put a number of them up on Shop Jazzwares or the Vault, or you put them up on Amazon and just say, hey, Amazon's going to have 500 of these.
yeah,
When they're gone, they're gone. Shop Jazzwares is going to have 500 of these. When they're gone, they're gone. Um, it's really, really, really unfortunate right now what's happening with the light armor class, and the aftermarket is really, really stupid for a lot of those.
agreed.
Understandably so.
Yeah,
You've got people like selling their soul for the Vader Interceptor right now, and that's a rare, right?
yeah. It's a one in fifteen
And we
thousand,
just
which is
haven't
what.
seen them.
Yeah, and
We
that's
just
what
haven't seen them.
the way they've found these, which the Dark Empire E-wing here, which is really sweet. We'll show this off more here in a little bit, but um, the the fact that you're getting that many, it should be like we've seen with all of the one in 15,000, like with Hera and Grievous and Ahsoka and the Shadow V Wing. Like those are everywhere. Everybody's finding them all over the place, which is what 15,000 should be. And that's
And,
where, like,
and the price
again,
ends up coming down to
oh, yeah, way down, like
35
30.
bucks.
Yeah, 30, $35. And then even with the chases, and that's where like the one in 5,000, it's like, man, if they increase that by 5,000 and they do 10,000, now all of a sudden those become more readily available. They're still more rare than the rare, but now more people get a chance to get it in hand, which And then you start to get all of the resellers then stop doing that because they realize they can't make any money on it. And then everybody's able to get them, which is what's happened, I think, with the collector sets. And I think that'll continue to happen as we keep moving along. But although I was going to say just prior to that too, it'll be interesting to see what the case assortments are, especially since they double pack the Starfighter class. I hope they start doing that, and I think that they will, based on what the results are in Canada. That they'll
with light armor.
They'll start to double pack those, which would be great. Although, who knows how many of those A-wings sold? In probably hundreds, maybe. But those went down fast, man. That was amazing to see, where it was like typically those chases are up there at like 150 to 180 for a long time, and they dropped down like the $60-$50 range quick.
Yep. Even if you didn't get one, you can still reap the benefits of it, like totally tanking the market for those what they were. I think that two of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them, had popped up on eBay, and then those started shipping.
Yep.
So there's some unfortunate people out there that ended up paying
a lot,
probably $150 for one, and then now they're down to half that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, this is a good one here on reissuing the Chase and Rares is the Armada. That would be another good option.
Not something they'd probably do, but my thing is just change the number. Just make it 10 and 15 or 10 and 20.
Right.
Even 10 is going to change the game significantly.
Right. Agreed. And then you mix it up too. I mean, for them, there's got to be that cost associated to making it. So even if it's a new tool and you still have to come up with the repaint application of it, you still got to run the thing through again. It's like, is it really worth it to run it through for $5,000?
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah. It's questionable. I wouldn't say I'm a defender of it, but it doesn't bother me as much as some. But I do think that number needs to change. 5,000 of anything Star Wars is just a little silly. Brent, let's see. Brent was saying he missed out on pre-ordering the E-Wing. I don't know about a street date, but at least right now, Amazon has them mid-October, I believe. Is that right?
Right.
Let's see if those are still...
Yeah, I think they're still mid-October.
What was the date on those?
October 16th.
Okay. I think mine might have been the 18th.
Yeah. Mine got in. I think I ordered mine before the listing ever even showed an image. So it was
mine too. It probably just, who knows how that stuff works, but
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they pop up.
A few of mine say the 16th. Sorry, the light armor says 16 on mine. The Ghost says 18.
Yeah.
So there's a chance here in like less than 2 weeks we could have the Ghost in our hands, the other version.
Would be sick. Yeah. I'm very excited for that, especially with the updated deco on the interior, as well as the Y-wings, the stand, all of that stuff.
The stand's going to be so great, man.
The stand is going to be great. Yep. I would agree for sure.
We've got a lot of pre-orders out. I love that stuff is finally shipping. We're right on the edge.
Yep.
People got their Classic Carcoon sets, hopefully, this past week.
Yep. Got all those. Yep. I got the review up. If you haven't got it, I would highly recommend it. I think, to be honest, other than Luke's lightsaber issue, which is, it depends on which one you get, how he was put in the box.
Kevin, I've seen a lot of pictures of these, a lot of pictures.
Agreed.
And I wouldn't say I've seen a single one that looked okay.
Oh, no, for sure. Definitely with the way they put it in the package.
Right.
I was thinking about
it's an issue
afterwards. Like, how could you even, you just have to make that
deeper.
Deeper. Yeah.
Yep. I was thinking about that this evening.
Even still, that plastic that they use is so soft. I feel like it would just droop like that over time just due to gravity. Like, it's just,
it's really, really soft. I don't know if that's a safety thing or what the deal is, but just make it a little bit deeper. I love the blasters and sabers.
Yep.
Like it just adds something to the line that we have so little of.
Hmm.
But that was crazy to shove that thing into that pillbox that is the same
Well,
depth as all the others.
I will say too, they screwed up on the packaging also on the ATTE with the Bark speeder. So I noticed this like when I got 3 of them. I got 2 of them at full price. I got 1 for $20. Um, and the one I got for $20, I was looking at and I took the speeder out and the speeder is all mangled up. And I was looking at the blister pack and the blister pack wasn't pushed in deep enough for the speeder to actually sit in with the legs in it. So when they put it in there, I mean, it's just going to get warped anyways.
It didn't pop in. I see what you're. So
Yeah. But no, it didn't
something's.
even, it's not even that it popped in. It's that the depth of that blister part wasn't deep enough for it to actually go in anyways.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I wonder if that happened on the first couple that I got too.
Um.
All
So
of them.
I noticed I've seen a couple people with this issue with the skiffs where with that tray, if
Mhm.
the fins weren't
Oh yeah.
uh, adjusted in
Vertical.
just the right angle,
Yep.
those things got absolutely mangled and warped.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can reach one down here. I've got one that looks really, really horrible.
Yeah.
Um, and if they didn't take the care to put them at just the right angle, the tray and the bubble just absolutely warped that to no end.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Let's
kind of
see.
need to
This is
get
pretty
2
bad.
of
I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera there, but look, can you see it looks like an S?
on. Oh, yeah.
Look at
Oh,
this one
that looks
down here. Look at
really
that.
bad.
Just like, womp.
Yep.
Just looks like a snake in there. And that's
Yeah,
because they
that's
didn't have it at the correct angle when they put it in there.
right.
And I'm probably not even going to bother opening that one. That one's
Yeah,
probably
I
going
think
straight back to the store.
so like the one thing that's interesting with one of mine is it doesn't have the ball on top of the stand, which
I saw.
I kind of looked at it and I was like, hold on a second, is this real? Like, does it really not have it on there? But no, it's definitely not on there. Yeah. Here was the stand I got in one of them.
I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see. You're not going to be able to see that.
I know Scott just sent
Scott
that
has
to
a
me.
picture of one where literally half of Luke's arm has been like sheared off.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and it's the hard thing
Minus
with
the flaccid saber.
that's the hard thing with a lot of these is you really do need to get multiple of them to make sure that you get one that's got reasonable quality. So, I mean, I'm super happy that I ended up ordering 2 of the Clash of Carcoon to be able to uh, skip the shipping because
Yep.
if I got sent the one that had this in it, I would have been really upset. I mean, like now I can't even display it. So that's
I'm sure it's ultimately not great for the line, but I think that's probably what I'm curious if chat wants to weigh in on this. Do a lot of people buy a couple, pick the best one, and return it, or are people buying several of them to scalp? Because it's really interesting if you see the Amazon listings.
Mhm.
A lot of the Amazon listings are rated really highly. They're like well above 4.5 stars. A lot of them they're closer to 5 stars.
Yeah,
The actual reviews, but it's got the disclaimer saying this is a like the return rate on this item is
it's
very
very
high.
high. I
And I'm
wonder
wondering if
too.
that's because people are buying 3 of them, picking the best one, and returning the others, or if there's people buying 10 of them and looking at the market and trying to decide if they can scalp them. It might be a little A, little B, but
Yeah,
it always strikes me as weird that there's that disclaimer on them because they're having so many returns. Um,
yeah,
that's
that's a
unfortunate.
problem. That's a problem for sure. Yeah, I certainly have been looking in the boxes way more when I see it to kind of look and see. But I mean, even
Which
with
I've
the
always done. I do that
viewing,
with all the lines. I'll compare and try to check paint deco and face print
you
and
can
stuff like
see
that on figures. But
that right there on the nose,
yeah,
that big blue
so
streak
so
on there.
your luck this week, you did not find much at Target. We can jump to Target.
Yeah.
Walmart finally shipped Classic Carcoon. Amazon is still a couple weeks away from shipping out
Yep.
their stuff. But Target, just
Man,
randomly this week,
out of nowhere.
starts putting out the T-6 shuttle,
Yep.
the Rebel U-Wing, Kevin, which never has been officially announced. And what the Pod Racer set, which we knew was coming and had pre-order for.
Yeah.
But those just started dropping in on shelves.
And in
And
Virginia to start, which was amazing. That was the first
yeah,
time the
first one
East
I
Coast
saw
got
was Yak Face's post, and he's in Minnesota. So they
yeah.
were everywhere, basically, I guess, getting ready for this 10/6 drop date.
Yep.
Tomorrow, by the way, if you're watching, tomorrow, run out to Target and grab the Pod Racers and the T6 and the Rebel U-Wing.
Yeah, all three of them. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I'm looking forward to those for sure.
So your success, how many stores were you able to check?
I don't know if I want to say how many.
Quite a few.
A handful, yes. Many of them. There was only one that I went to that didn't have any or have any coming. But of the other ones that I went to, there were some that showed on hand. There were multiple on hand, but it showed none on the floor, none in the back. So, and then there was a bunch where, I asked to look for other stores in the area, and they had multiple at multiple stores. But again, I just never trust those things, man. I never trust those because I've done that so many times where they say, "Oh, well, there's going to be 3 or 4 at this store,"
Sure.
and I go there and they have nothing.
So you struck out with Target on all three of those, right?
Struck out all three.
I think I hit 2 targets. Unfortunately, not able to hit more. The first one I found the Pod Racers. First one I found nothing actually. But the second one had Pod Racers. Obviously, would not sell them to me, but it was nice to see them in person. They look amazing. I went back to the other store because I checked the inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Went back to the other store the next day. Nothing on the shelf, but they had placed, Target has those little like rolling racks that they pull out now. Just happened to go an aisle or two too far past the toy aisle, kind of where the like weird larger like pool items and something. It's like 1 or 2 aisles past the Hot Wheels cars and stuff like that. There was one cart sitting in that aisle and just happened to kind of take a peek at them, and then I see that little strip of pink on it.
Heart skipped
and struck gold with one case of the T6 shuttle.
Nice.
And was able to get out of the store with the T6 shuttle.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Gosh, but even though you were unsuccessful at Target, you apparently have some lucky Canadian friends, correct?
I do, yeah. Fortunately, I have some friends that I've made in Canada, and so once things started to hit GameStop, I reached out and said, "Hey, any chance you're going to GameStop anytime soon?" And fortunately, super, super nice guy was able to contact some and be able to get them, and so I was able to complete Series 6 light armor class, which is amazing. I've never had this happen in 2 years, or however long it's been, 2.5 years. I've never completed a series this fast where I've got everything. I've got all of the light armor class and all of the starfighter class.
Yeah, that's amazing. Blame Canada.
But yeah,
I'm jealous of Canada, but I'm also really happy that they had all these come up there. That they get the short end of the stick so often.
Right.
That and like how many just awesome members of the community are there that are Canadian? So
yeah, I mean the fact that he was able to do that and we had a really good trade. I was able to send him some 3D printed figures, which I really enjoyed as well. But which was cool. So yeah, it was nice. That was very nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I'm glad they hey, I'm just glad GameStop is supporting the lineup there.
Agreed.
That's amazing. But still jealous. But you were able to snag
I was able to snag all of them. I got the Dark
Everything.
Empire
You
E-Wing.
already had the A-Wing and the Armada tie, correct?
Yep, we got the Dark Empire E-Wing.
Look at that.
Which is sweet. The droid on it is amazing. The droid on it's
yep.
really, really cool. And then we've got the Lieutenant Callahan's E-Wing.
Which the droid on that one is also cool, right?
The droid on this one is also amazing. Yeah, you'll see it. I'll do the review here over the next day or two. The deco on the droid, the deco on the pilot is amazing. He's got 2 Rebel insignias on his helmet that are maybe like half a millimeter in height, and it looks like the Rebel insignia. I mean, it's amazing, really good.
Jealous.
But they're a lot smaller than I had anticipated. I thought they would be similar to a starfighter class, but you'll see, like, relative to the Y-wing,
yeah,
it's way smaller.
Do we think that's accurate?
I don't know. It looks short. Like, it does look a little bit stubby, the nose part of it.
The design in general. I gotta say, I've seen a couple pictures side by side with the action fleet, and I do prefer the old design. This is not a Micro Galaxy thing, but a Lucasfilm thing. I wish they had just kept the old design.
And then the Pirate Snub Fighter. This thing is really cool.
I was going to say, when I started seeing those in-hand pictures, I was sold on it way more than I was before. It's not one I necessarily wanted, but that one is so interesting that I'm like, that'll be cool on a shelf just because it's so different.
Because this was another one where when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's way smaller than I had anticipated it being. There it is next to the A-Wing.
Okay.
And it's just barely
slightly longer because the wings, yeah.
Yeah, and really just because of mainly the guns on it are the big part.
Yeah, man, that's pretty small. That's surprising.
Yeah, it doesn't look that small in the actual pictures. I mean, you look at it and go, wow, that thing is going to be pretty big. But
dang, I just noticed I had a green smudge on this one.
Yeah.
I never noticed it before. I should have left it on the shelf.
The figure on this one, though, is incredible. This Zane here, let me pull this up here. I mean, this guy
looks great, man.
He's got more paint on him, I think, than any of the other figures.
It's crazy.
Pretty incredible.
That's awesome.
I was really surprised, man.
Star of the upcoming series Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. The detail on this guy is pretty incredible.
That's impressive, yeah.
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colors.
Which E-Wing do you end up preferring having both in hand now?
Blue, for sure.
It pops more.
Way better. Yeah. Yeah.
I love the nostalgia of the old one, but the blue looks really nice.
Yeah, the pilot is really, really good. The droid looks really good as well. It's like they actually painted the dome on it, which I think helps. So when they put the whatever the panels on the top, I don't know if that's going to work or not. It's probably too bright. But
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
panels on the top. The panels on the top really stand out well, which looks great.
Is that the correct number of panels? Did they fix that on that? Do we think
it's got 6?
I know at one point that was a thing, right? They started doing detailed panel lines around the top, but there were extra boxes that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it looks like there's 6 on this 3D printed one that I have, so I don't know if that's supposed to be the way it is or not. But no, it came out great, and I will say with these two, again, I'll talk about this more in the review. These the guns on here, I really don't know why they used this specific material. That doesn't lend itself to be like an object that you would be able to impale yourself on, but it's
because the nose is so much longer.
Yeah, it's really soft. So like you saw on those original pictures that we posted, how it was bent up. If you're setting this on the table, you have to have that. You have to have this out. Otherwise, it'll lean down on these and it'll
I
warp them
see. Over time, or if they get
over time.
warm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can actually see that on this one. See how it's already warped?
Oh, no.
Now, that's a pretty easy thing to fix. You
Sure,
can
just
just
heat
take,
it
like,
up, get it straight,
heat it
cool
up
it.
and straighten it out. But if you set it down on the table without having this piece out, because when you have that out, it actually does tilt it
It's
up
supporting,
slightly,
yeah.
so that the laser cannon's not actually on the table.
Interesting. So you're saying when it's warm or over time, the nose resting forward onto the ground is basically bending those
Correct.
cannons up.
Well, if you just have it sit like that, just because of the weight of the nose, it
Uh-huh.
will tilt down
Yeah.
slightly.
That's
So,
unfortunate. Yeah, I don't love the material. I don't know. It gets a lot of love. Even today, I thought the same thing. The Shin and Balin figures both came in today.
mhm.
And man, trying to get the lightsaber out of the tray, like that material is so soft, and it just
Is it?
feels so needlessly soft.
Yeah,
Like it takes zero pressure just to like fold that lightsaber hilt in half, like a banana.
that's a
I
bummer.
don't know why. I don't know. I don't know if it's a safety and standards thing or what the deal is, but
Cost,
just a little more rigid would go a long way.
right. Yeah, now you
Is it
got
similar
something.
to the B-wing material?
It's softer than the B-wing. Actually, no, it's probably similar. It's probably similar.
And
The same
A-wing,
thing with the guns
blaster
on
is
the
kind of the
front.
same thing.
Yeah,
No,
guns on the
A-wing's
front of
pretty
the
hard.
Snub Fighter are the same. They're soft. A little bit firmer, but
They keep doing it. We're gonna keep having droopy blasters.
yes, we will. But yeah, this Snub Fighter looks awesome.
My score this week,
Yeah,
yesterday,
dude, that
there are
is
some droopy
sick.
blasters back here on the back, if you can see that.
That thing looks amazing.
Little swoopy cannons there.
Yeah, that is still so cool.
But in
Got that on
general, this thing is so nice.
there. Yeah, is that wing not clicked all the way on?
It is not, Kevin. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
That's for video purposes.
nice. That thing looks sick.
It's amazing. And you know, we saw the photos of it, and I was a little nervous because the red was really, really, really red.
Yeah,
And that does not feel like the case to me in person. Like it's a lot more toned down, and there's a pretty, I would say there's a healthy wash on this, and it's a really nice amount.
yeah,
I think a lot of people could argue the Ghost might have slightly too much of a wash on it or too dark of a
yeah.
wash. This is a grayer wash, and it's just the right amount.
That looks
And man,
sweet.
the detail on this is amazing. Now, the only issue I had with it, and I will tell you guys this if you haven't picked one up yet, the top piece was you know, sometimes the wash will
Six.
seal apart in that shouldn't be sealed in.
Yeah,
I almost broke it trying to get this off, but it lifts from the back. You pull the clips are in the back. So if you pull up from the back and then slide this out, that's how
nice.
that comes off.
Dude, that is amazing.
And then you can see the details in there. And look, I think it's
Not
really
even the
cool. They
door.
even kind of have like a hallway, I guess you would call it, like into the cockpit there.
That is so cool.
It looks like the doors to the cockpit are through there.
Right. Yeah, I did. I saw a picture of that too. That looks so cool. And you got the door on the side that opens as well.
There's
And the
doors
ramp
everywhere.
comes out.
It's amazing. So if you see this, there's the ramp.
Mhm.
Put this down here. The obviously spins here. That and Kevin, I'm not gonna lie, I am just now noticing that these are transparent.
What is?
The doors on the side here
Oh yeah, yeah.
are transparent.
That's so
That's
cool, man.
That's pretty awesome. So when it's like this, I guess these can open.
Yep.
And it looks. This is upside down, by the way, I guess, but I'm holding it upside down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see through there, but
Yeah. That is sick.
I don't know why. I don't know. I did not expect that until just now. Really, really cool. So these open, and then you've got another little when it's closed here. I need to close the door before I do that. There's a ramp down here on the bottom side that opens up.
Nice.
It does not actually go into the vehicle, but you can see it does lead to that door. So the ramp, again, the top of the ramp, you can see that window there.
That's so cool.
Through that sealed door. So really, really, really cool. Awesome details.
Yeah, I did hear the one thing you have to be careful of with it is to put all of that stuff back before you twist it, like the landing gear as well.
Kevin, I almost just had that problem. I almost just cranked that door right off, spinning it around. The cockpit, man, if this was painted, woo. But the cockpit looks great. I don't know if that's going to focus. There we go.
There you go. Nice.
It's a really, really nice looking cockpit. A little extra paint in there. You know, if somebody wants to do custom work on that, would be amazing. I think getting that table painted would look incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as is, the outside of this looks just really, 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 really nice. Man, again, I'm just now noticing this in the lights. This has windows on the side of it as well.
On the side of the...
Similar to the U-Wing. Down here by their feet and on the side, there's more windows.
Nice.
Very, 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 very cool. You know, the little turret on the back is not my favorite part. It does not. It does move. Okay, I had been too scared to try and move it.
Yeah.
But it does kind of slide around. You can see it's now. It basically slides up and down.
Gotcha. It doesn't spin?
I don't think so. I'm not going to break it. I can't get it to spin. The door opens to the side. It's a little awkward. So you've got to have it pointed down far enough that the top of the cockpit is exposed. You'll break it if it's looking straight out. Basically, it looks straight out where the blasters are and down. Yeah. The blasters do not point up very much. That's as high as they go up.
Gotcha.
They'll point up just a little bit. But if I try to open the cockpit while it's up like that, the cockpit is behind this piece to some extent, and it will break. So you've got to make sure you've got the whole like hatch exposed, and then you can pop it open, and it goes to the side.
Oh, gotcha. I see what you're looking
exposing just the seat. It's a little tricky to get the people in there.
Nice. That reminds me of Boba Fett's starship. That was a pain in the butt trying to get him in there.
Yeah. But it's overall, man, this is amazing. Yeah. The figures looked pretty great. I don't know if you'll be able to see the like head tails on the. Probably not. I don't think that's going to focus. But her, like the paint on the head tails is really impressive on the back, especially that they were able to get that in there. Her face looks okay. They kind of got like some of the eyebrow area on her forehead, and then she's got like just a little bit of the white on her cheeks there. Her face sculpt is a little interesting. On the face sculpt, but it's really, really, really impressive. At least on mine, her lightsaber hilts not painted.
Huh.
Interesting. It's a little bit of a bummer. Hu Yang looks amazing. Tons of detail on him. His backpack is just like insane that he's got those arms on it that come off.
Yeah.
And then Ahsoka has tons of detail. Like, sorry, Sabine has tons of detail.
Yeah, it makes me think that with all of the detail that they're getting with a lot of these things that, who knows, maybe we could get a Armada Sabine tie. That would be sweet.
Mm-hmm. I keep saying, man, put a damaged one on Vault, and you could
Yeah.
sell like 10,000 of them like that.
Yeah. And then we should be getting another Sabine as well with her speeder. That's coming in Series 7.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't think we've seen pictures of that yet.
Yeah.
What are the odds? It's a different sculpt.
Oh, man, that would be great. That would be really awesome. I feel like with those, though, they are only doing like one new thing at a time. So I feel like it will be the same Sabine. But that would be awesome if they did do that. Let's hope so. Yeah,
a little bit of detail in there. Not quite as much as we've seen on some of the panels, but there's good detail in there.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Anybody in the chat that hasn't picked one up yet want to see anything?
Man, it just looks awesome.
It's amazing, man. It's so cool. It really, really is. And I don't, MSRP supposedly $39.99.
Yeah,
Walmart and Target have both come out now selling it for $29.99. And I would say without it being like a clearance price or something, this is probably the best value in the line.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't think anything has, just having this in hand, I don't think anything in the line so far is immediately a better value than this ship at $30 because it's amazingly detailed, has 3 brand new characters with it, tons of play features, and I'll clip that in at some point.
Nice. How strong is the swivel on it? Like when you're trying to turn it.
Did he say neck swivel? What is neck swivel?
Yeah, like when you're trying to twist it.
So
how difficult is it?
I would call it sturdy. I would call it very sturdy. I've found the best thing to do for that is to first make sure all those doors and hatches are closed.
Yep.
And with those breaking off, just put your hand on it and take your thumb and push it on around. Snap it in.
Does it click in different places or it's just like a big loop?
It definitely hits a spot that feels good. You've got to pop it out of that spot. Yeah. Now it'll stay wherever I want to put it.
Right.
It would stay wherever I want to put it, but it nestles into the correct alignment.
Yeah, let me see the back of that. Can you flip it around the other way?
The what?
To see the back? Oh yeah, for sure. All right, cool. That's good. I like that.
It's so detailed, man. That perfect amount of wash, perfect tone of the wash.
I've already got my idea.
Covered in detail. It is the best value right off the shelf at normal price. If this is normal price, I don't know.
Yeah.
But for $30, this is the best deal in the line.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't seen pictures yet.
Yeah, I'd agree with Howrunner here that take more Dreadnought ships at this price without the lights and sounds. I agree 100%. Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see how big it is. That's why I really.
This is wider than the Ghost by an inch.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And really, the Ghost is not a whole lot longer.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. They knocked this out of the park, and the pod racers look amazing. That's what I was saying. Like, this is a huge weekend for Jazzwares because this, for $30, this is amazing. Like, seriously amazing work. The engineering, like whatever they were able to pack in this budget is crazy. I know there are a few more things I think they probably were wanting to do with it, play feature wise. but all the stuff that it does right now is crazy. Like it's a great value. The pod racers, I think some people could argue maybe not quite as good of a value with the re-release and everything like that in there. But seeing it in person, it looks better. Even Sebulba, I'm like, I will probably replace my older Sebulba with this one,
Hmm.
just because the deco and weathering on it look better to my eye.
Yeah, I think the pod
The
racers
my
are
older
awesome.
Sebulba is pretty clean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the difference.
There's a little bit of a wash on it, I guess, but the new one is much more significant. And it just looks more dirty and grimy and lived in like those pod racers did.
Yeah, but I mean, comparing it back to the Action Fleet one as well, where it's kind of clunky, it's got the big plastic thing on the bottom of it, to where you actually have the pod racer where it's the pods and then the ball joints for the hoses, as ingenious to do that, because you can pose it in all different types of positions,
Right.
which is really cool. So
It's
I'm really
great
excited
engineering.
about that.
It would have been, ideal would have been slightly smaller on those, but I'm sure they would have broken.
Oh, on the hoses,
Yeah,
I still think it looks really good. I
they're
mean, it'll
pretty
be
good. Yeah,
cool,
I
like
mean, and
I'll
really the
do a
further away
display.
you are from it, they look a little better. I
Yeah.
think I did see somebody that cut them off and replaced them with like actual wire, and it looks really good.
Mm, nice.
But man, the detail on these new ones is insane. And I have not found a Rebel U-wing yet, but from the pictures I've seen, it looks the U-wing was already an amazing mold,
Hmm.
and that blue really pops.
Yeah, and I
And
like
somebody
that
had the great
taking
idea
the
to
wings
buy
off.
the extras and swap the wings,
Yep.
and you can make even more variants of them, which is really cool. For if you can find them anymore at Target, I don't see them at Target anymore. There's tons and tons of bongos
All
still,
gone.
but I think a lot of the U-wings have dried up for
Hmm.
$9. Is that what they were? $8.99.
$9. Yep. I got a
That's
I got a couple of them.
crazy. If you see one for $9, just grab it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Kind of
Crazy
wild. I
price,
couldn't
but yeah,
believe that.
it's worth $9 to me just to be able to make a slightly different one,
Hmm.
and then you can have three.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to pass up that ship at that value, which stinks for the bongo because the bongo is $6, and I almost want to get it just for the figures. It's like the figures are worth $6.
I know.
Bongo is
Somebody
probably
asked that the other day. They're like, "Hey, is the bongo worth $6?" And I'm like, "Man, just the figures are worth $6.
right.
The Jar Jar that's what else will have that Obi-Wan in it? Nothing.
Right. I know.
I
I had
don't
to pick
see
up
those
at
getting
least
much
one of them.
reuse ever. So to me, it was worth it at $20. But
Mhm.
at that clearance price, man, grab it just for the micro figures because you're probably not going to see those again. What is Jar Jar going to come with?
I don't know. Since
That's
they
kind
haven't
of the
been
thing
able
to
to
me.
get
I'm like,
creatures
I would
yet.
rather, even if it's a ship I might not be able to display if I don't have the room or something like that,
Yeah.
just those micro figures, it's add those to the collection.
Hmm. I know. It'll be interesting to see what do they do because they're clearanced at 70% and not moving.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do? Just clearance them at 90%?
Man,
$2.
it's a bummer. I don't know how many. We obviously have no idea how many were ordered, but
A lot.
I, too many for sure. It's a real specific ship. I wouldn't say it's necessarily iconic,
Yeah, I would agree.
but it is interesting. To me, it was a like swing for the fences kind of odd choice. I'm
Hmm.
so glad they made it. They did a great job with it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it. My guess is Target is going to be sending those to some
Hmm.
uh like after, some retailer when they basically salvage the stuff out.
Ross.
I don't even know if it's Ross. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
my
think it
guess
is.
is some of them might pop up on that Bullseye eBay account that Target has where they kind of
Mm,
clearance off some of their stuff. I could see them popping up for $5 on that. I don't know, man. It's kind of a bummer that there's that many of them at that price. I feel
Agreed.
bad for it because it's a great ship, but again, that's why I'm like, that's why Sebulba, and if they do another one, probably Anakin, are going to be in those sets, is because when they do something a little more out there, or a little more specific, or a deep cut, you
Yeah, I
risk a
really
lot of
hope
them
those
sitting on the
pod
shelf.
racers sell. Because if those pod racers sell and they could potentially do another set with the re-release Anakin battle damage, add 2 more pods in there. I mean, dude, that would be sweet. Like the again, the detailing on it is so awesome that the fact that you could get more of them would be cool. I just don't know that.
Yeah, well, and we're reaching the point in the year where I feel like episode 1 collection
Mhm.
probably, I
It's
don't know
running
if
into
there's any
this one.
gas left in the tank with it,
Yeah,
with this pod
agreed.
racer set.
They got to get rid of the Naboo starfighters, man. I can't believe those haven't been discounted yet either.
Yeah, I guess they were included in some of the general Star Wars sales.
Hmm.
I think we might have seen them one time for
Yeah,
like
like
10.99 or
11.99.
something.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, put those things at $7, and I think those fly off the shelves too and are gone, just like
Agreed.
the U-wings are.
Right. I would agree for sure. Yeah. That was all Target, right?
Yeah,
Ewing.
hit Target tomorrow. They're out there,
Yep.
hopefully. And
Ewing
check
pop.
the scan the blind boxes and see if your store has them for 250, because 250 is a great price for a army builder set like Series 6 was.
Yeah. I haven't seen any blinds. After that sale went,
Really.
nothing. No blinds
One
at all.
store around me still has about half a case at full price, and I'm just waiting for them to
Hmm.
drop so that I can
Gotcha.
grab the rest of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Because really, there's
Um,
nothing in there that it's for 250. Man, there's nothing in there I'd be upset about getting a multiple of for 250.
sure.
I could do with I'm not super into the Geonosians at this point, I guess,
I got so many of
um,
those bugs from the
but
last
man,
series.
B1s, getting those battle droids, you
Yeah.
can. It's impossible to have too many clones, so
Hmm.
yeah, I
Agreed.
would be surprised. Is there even time left in the year for Episode 1 collection to have anything else?
I don't think so. I
I
mean,
mean,
you
right
got
at Christmas. I mean, yeah,
yeah, you got December. What would come? I mean, what else would they have? Potentially
Naboo
a battle
Star,
pack
the
of
Naboo,
yeah,
the
right?
Naboo Royal Starship,
Oh, I don't think so. They could potentially do like a
another
battle
pod racer
pack
set.
of the Naboo starfighter, where you could do a battle damage one
Yeah.
and then or 2 battle damage versions of it or something like that.
My guess is if this pod racer set does well enough, we could maybe we could see another set with Anakin, Ben Quadinaros, and
Hmm.
I mean, there's only a few left right after that point that are notable.
Yeah, Cody
Maybe
Mandel is
Vault
the.
is a place for that to land.
Mhm.
I think that would be a great set to have on Vault, but I don't know how many of those need to sell, for it to make it worth it. Because it
Right,
seems like a lot of, I think these were made because they're exclusives. Target is basically paying for these to be made, and I
right,
don't know if that's something Vault would want to foot the bill for. I'm not sure.
sure.
Yeah,
Uh, Hold on a second. Is this right? Revenge of the Sith 20th is next year. Is
I
that
believe
right?
that is true. Yeah,
Man, we could get some great ones from there. So there's some
yeah,
Jedi interceptors that need to be done. So Obi-Wan with his blue one, Anakin with his green one that he flies onto Mustafar. You've got the Royal Starship that she flies. That would be a perfect assault class vehicle. The one that she flies onto Mustafar. That would be a good one. Then you have so many others. You got the Arc 170. There's
yeah,
there's the Tri Droid or whatever, the
yeah,
droid fighter.
yeah.
Um,
My, the Arc 170 would be a home run for sure.
you could do multiple releases of the Arc 170 as well. You could actually do it in the Mutalist 10
Yeah. Oh man, listen.
as well.
Oh boy.
That would be
That's
awesome.
why. That's why it's kind of surprising it hasn't come out yet. But I think it was hinted at enough that it's. I think it's a thing
Yeah.
I think it's a thing that exists. I just hope we see it next year for that anniversary,
Yeah, there's
and then
so
we see
many
it again
vehicles.
3 other ways. You know.
You could get Ayla again on a speeder. Or sorry, is it Ayla? Who is it that's on the speeder that gets shot, that gets blown up? It's not Ayla.
I think you're correct.
No, Ayla gets shot by the clones. She's on the ground or whatever, and then they
Mm,
surround her. There was somebody else that was on a speeder that got shot off of it. But that would be a good speeder to do. Yeah, they could do so many out of there.
yeah, man.
You could
And
do
you know
Anakin.
now with
You
this
know what
with
else would
this
be
many
cool?
movies, the anniversaries are just gonna be every year.
Yeah, the other one that would be really cool is Anakin's, talk about somewhat of a deep cut here. Anakin's speeder that he gets in when he leaves Padme the last time before he goes to the Jedi Temple. That speeder that he hops in or whatever it is, that would be a deep cut for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious how deep they'll go with it. And is that something they're shopping? You know, is that have they chatted with Target about doing that? You know,
Yeah, right.
I don't know what the lead
Oh,
time is on
Adi
that. Have they already
Gallia.
committed to it,
Adi
or are they looking
Gallia.
at sales of this one and deciding maybe not again? I don't know.
There you go.
It'd be great though. Even, you know, and they could do like Return of the Jedi. It doesn't have to be a store exclusive line. They can just put the sticker on them and release them in a wide release, like a lot of that
Sure.
40th Return of the Jedi stuff was.
Rebels 10th anniversary this week, so there we go. So we did get some Rebel stuff, which is
Yeah,
sweet.
we missed out on Rebels stuff, but man, for whatever reason, the Ahsoka show stuff is like just an absolute like deluge of Ahsoka stuff this weekend
Hmm.
somehow
Yep.
with the T-6, the new Shin, the new Balin,
Yeah.
something else too. Oh, the Enoch and the Night Trooper 2-pack also released.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's wild. It's all this Ahsoka stuff has been hitting on the same weekend. Yeah,
And
we
then we
got
got,
pictures of the new Havoc, the Series 6 Havoc Marauder re-release.
yeah,
The
looks
notable
great.
thing being the confirmation of the mercenary looks, I guess, for Hunter and Wrecker.
Yep. And then there's quite a bit of deco difference. I thought I had a better picture there of the figures, but you can kind of see them in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's the same exact mold, so the figures won't really fit. You can't like put them in those chairs
Yeah.
and then be able to like close that door. But I do like the differences in the coloring that they've got on it, and I like the thing that they did underneath the windows where it's got like that black paint. It doesn't show any good pictures of the top of it though, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. But this picture right here on the left of the thing in flight mode is awesome. I have my Havoc Marauder from Series 2 on one of those stands
Like
in this
a action figure
position.
stand.
Yeah, like the action figure
Yep,
stand.
yep, yep.
It looks awesome.
Yep.
Like it looks so cool. Every time I see, and I have a second one sitting around as well. I would say almost every time that I'm down here, I pick that thing up and I open those wings up because it's just so cool. Love that.
My guess is this is not going to be flying off the shelves.
Oh no. Oh, it's Amazon exclusive, isn't it? I
Oh,
thought
I
it
don't know.
was.
Is it? Did they say that?
I thought so.
I thought it
But
was a like common release, one of the
mm,
Starship releases.
have to go back and look at. Do you have that on your Instagram when the with the collector's guide?
I do.
Because I think it showed that on the collector's guide. Let me see if I can find it here. No, it just says Havoc Marauder Rescue Mission.
Yeah, I thought it was a wide, which would I remember thinking, wow, that's gonna be a common release.
Yeah. No, I don't see it on there.
Yeah, I think it's a common release, which is kind of why I'm like, I think this might be unfortunately, might be one of those. It's kind of a race to the bottom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You might be able to find it a little bit cheaper. So, yeah, the previous one was a Target exclusive pop.
Gotcha. And then we've
So,
got
yeah, man. I
here.
really just wanted to include this because after the fact, we got much better pictures of it. And I threw in the picture from a little video they had on their site. There it is, where you can actually see what they've painted in the cockpit. So you're definitely paying a few dollars extra for that deco inside the cockpit. But I think it turned out pretty good. I don't know how much they can reasonably get down inside there.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely adds a lot to just be able to pop it open and see detail in there in general. It's pretty sweet. And I think a lot of people had sticker shock with this one, and I totally get it. The way I kind of justified it myself was you've got your $15-16 ship. You're paying $5 for this extra deco. What I believe they're calling premium, like a exclusive premium deco. $5 for the exclusive the acetate packaging, like the SDCC last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're paying $5 for them to put it in 4 vault boxes, basically.
Right.
And $30 is steep when it's going to come for 15 a month or two later, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I justified it. I grabbed 2 for free shipping.
It's interesting to see too the color of it. I wonder if the standard release will be that same color where it's kind of like a beige-ish color, because the pictures that we had seen previous to this, it was white. It did not look beige like that. And even in the show, it's more of a white color than it is like the color that it actually is.
Yeah, it'll be
Although it will
interesting.
be nice. I mean, the actual arc, or sorry, the V19. I mean, that's just so cool. I love that. But the actual V19 is more of a white color anyway. So, I had 3D printed one, and I looked at a ton of pictures of it and everything. And the one thing that I do like about this version is the 3D printed one. When you have something that has a very tight clearance like that, and you paint it, when you fold the wings up, every time you fold the wings up, it rips more paint off. So it'll be nice to have one that actually does function pretty easily.
TK in the chat is saying it is an Amazon exclusive. The Havoc Marauder.
Yeah, I thought that's what they said during that.
It might be. I totally may have. Well,
it could have been updated too, since they released that collector's guide. Since the collector's guides aren't accurate anyways.
It's possible. I will say on the listing on Amazon, it says nothing about Amazon exclusive. And typically they love putting Amazon exclusive in the title of those listings.
Yeah.
And it does not say that. So I don't know.
Hopefully Target did not pick this one up.
I know there are a lot of people newer to the line, so I'm glad that there's a lot of Bad Batch fans. I mean, a lot of hardcore Bad Batch fans.
Yeah.
And not everybody was able to grab one of those Target ones. So I'm glad it's back out there in a slightly different flavor for people that missed it and can grab one. I don't know how many people will be double dipping on it, aside from people like us, but
once it goes on clearance, yeah, that was pretty amazing. The prices, man, because I remember getting it off of Macy's for like $50. Where I was like, whatever, I'm gonna get it because it's the first one, and then nothing for a while, and then all of a sudden, then it pops up, and it's like, dude. Oh, we got a super chat here. Falcon Fighter Tales. Thanks for the super chat. Any whispers of an undamaged Wedge or Redux Luke's X-Wing? Yeah, so I'd love to see the X-Wing variants based on the movie liveries. I would say Uh, undamaged wedge. They have to do, like, that's such an easy one to do. I don't know why they
It's
wouldn't.
easy, but we don't know any. There's no reason to think that's coming, other
Yeah,
than it stands to reason. There's an undamaged one that's a rare. Why not just release one on Vault or something like that? That's you know,
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
the Luke's X-wing as an armada, I don't know why they wouldn't do that, because that's such an easy one to just update the deco on the Luke figure, which is so much better now, and then release that with a different wash on it as well. Like that one again, it seems easy, but the ones that I know have been mentioned in interviews in the past was the Dagobah X-wing.
Yeah, we still think that might be a thing at some point.
Yep,
That'd be a great
which would be awesome.
Vault exclusive.
Yeah, for sure.
Dagobah, I think is coming. So the other component to this is
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
we've seen the photos from Asia from of the Vault exclusive Empire set. That's the 5 Armada
Yes.
TIE
Right.
fighters.
Yeah, the five Armada TIE
The
fighters.
fact that there's an Empire set, you would assume there's going to be a Rebel Alliance set. Um,
Yeah.
what is in that set? I don't know. I feel fairly certain that that is coming.
Man, that would be,
It'll
I
be
can't wait.
way more interesting than the TIE fighters. It'll be interesting to see what is in that set because it could be Luke, Wedge, Biggs. I mean, who knows what's in it? It could be one X-wing, one Y-wing, one A-wing. It could.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I think in general, I've
Or
probably said this before.
get this
Armada
whole,
TIE Bomber TK for sure is a thing we need. Armada Y-wing would be a great choice, but in this set, it would be cool just to get random other squadrons or something. There's a lot of things they could do with this other than the other set that's just TIE fighters. You could go a lot of directions with the Rebel set, so I am really curious what they do with that. But I know I mentioned an episode or two ago that in general, I think I would rather just see a new X-wing mold at some point soon.
I think what they should do for the Rebel fleet is 5 Red 5 X-wings.
It would certainly match the Empire fleet.
It would definitely match the Empire fleet. 5 of the same. But no, I could see
So
him doing it as one of each.
yeah,
You
so
could do it
that's something
now with
I
the
would keep
E-wing
my
out.
eye on. Sorry,
What do you
whoever
got?
brought that Falcons fighter tails. I would
Yeah.
I would keep my eye on the Vault news for that set because you never know what could be in there.
Yeah, you could have one of each vehicle now that there's 5 vehicles. You got the E-wing, the A-wing, the B-wing, Y-wing, and X-wing.
Yeah.
There's 5. But I don't know
Can
what
you
that
imagine
costs.
the bubble for that?
Yeah,
That
right.
tray would look insane just trying to fit all those in there. I don't know if they could do that, but
That would be really
um,
cool though.
yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes out of that.
I will mention too with the Vault stuff. I did you order a set this month, the collector's set?
I did not order the
Yeah,
collector.
I didn't either. I think a lot of people had this wave.
Yeah.
There has been a change to the boxes, just so
Yes.
people are aware
Yep.
of what you're ordering. The collector sets have been glossy, kind of metallic spot areas on them. They are
Yep.
now a soft touch material closer to like what the outer sleeves are on like the SDCC exclusives. It's more like a soft touch material
Yeah.
with those little bits of metallic stuff. I think the inside is very similar to what we've had before,
Hmm.
but the outside of those boxes is going to be different. So for you OCD collectors, just prepare yourself
Yeah.
for those to not match totally. And I think in a way, I think that probably looks nicer. I think the matte finish looks a little nicer than the glossy. The glossy's cool, but The matte stuff looks a little nicer, right? Don't you think? You have any opinion on that at all?
Yeah, your
I'm pretty
fingerprints don't
indifferent.
show up as bad.
People may want to know there's a change.
Yeah, the fingerprints on the glossy one gets to be pretty bad pretty quick. You grab it one time, you get fingerprints all over it.
Although that
Um,
black matte might pick up fingerprints too. I don't know the oils.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing that I heard that was somewhat unfortunate about it is it sounds like some of them might have the old Series 1 R2 droid in there, or it
I
doesn't have
saw a
the
few
updated
people
cameras.
mentioning that. Yeah, that would be weird, right?
Yeah, that would be odd.
I don't know how that would happen because the ones that hit store were updated, right?
Yeah,
This would be
yeah,
the Rise of Skywalker R2 in
correct. Yeah,
Poe,
Rise of
right?
Skywalker R2 as well as the Shadow V-Wing droid.
That droid too was.
Yeah, I'd seen at least a picture of that, but
Happened to have one right here.
yeah.
And that is definitely an updated droid. That's really, really strange that would have happened.
Right. Agreed.
Unfortunate if you buy the box set and that happens. I don't know how widespread that is.
Joins. Oh yeah. So does it launch on Target's site tomorrow too? Is that one of those that'll pop up at midnight
Oh,
or
man.
whenever it?
I'm trying to think. So I have seen links to those pages. I've seen links to those pages. The pages do not go anywhere right now,
Mhm.
but there's no. They could not. With Microgalaxy and
Yeah.
Target, who knows if it's going to have a page or not have a page. I think they finally got an ATTE page, right? But it was like weeks and weeks later.
Oh, gotcha. Well,
I'll try
talking
to keep
about
an
them
eye on
going
that.
live.
Whoever asked that, I'll try to keep an eye on those pages tomorrow and see if they ever come up. The pod racers do have a page,
Yeah.
and you should be able to sometime later tonight, or early in the morning, sometime late tonight. You ought to be able to get on there and do an in-store pickup and save it for in-store. I would, again, with Target and in-store pickups, I would do an in-store pickup and then also show up early at a store and try to get one too, because it's
Yes.
usually chaos on release day and there's a lot of stuff releasing tomorrow. So
Yeah.
there's a chance there's a lot of people at the stores close to open and they may grab that product before yours has actually been picked from the shelf. And you could end up with some cancellations. Yeah. So I would place an in-store pickup and then even maybe go to a different Target and be there at open to try to grab one and then either cancel your other pickup or something. I think with Target, it's good to kind of cover your bases in a way. And it'll probably come in the mail Monday or Tuesday anyway. So, for everybody who pre-ordered it, um,
Yeah. Mine.
I
Mine is
think people
actually
get FOMO
showing
and just want to go out and have
back
it
order.
now anyways. But
Yep. Mine says back ordered, estimated arrival Monday, October 14th.
14th.
Yeah.
Those are your pod racers?
Yep.
Interesting. I've not checked mine in a few days.
Yeah, it says same thing on. I've got two separate orders. One was earlier than the other, but both of them say back ordered, estimated arrival on the 14th. Although I will say what you were
Mine
just
say
saying about,
Wednesday to Monday.
yeah,
Back
what
ordered Wednesday to Monday. But they
what you
did
were
this
saying about
last go
Target.
around when they had a bunch of releases. This same thing happened, and then like halfway through the day, it switched from back ordered to shipped.
Yeah. Well, what you were saying about the Target releases and getting it on in store or whatever, having it picked, that literally happened to me with the Ghost, where I had purchased one like at, I don't know what it was, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. It popped up
Yep.
and I bought it and then I went to the store and it was gone already. So then I had to go to another store. I ordered it online, went to that store and they didn't have it as well.
Yeah.
So then I went to another store and then finally the guy was able to get one out of the back. I
Yeah,
was
it can
like,
be tricky. Just cover your bases. Um My problem is I locked one of those, whatever sale they were having. I think I locked one of those in for like $29.99.
For the pod racer.
Yeah, so I kind of want to keep that price, and just because I like the line and want to see it succeed, I try not to do as many like just ridiculous returns as I might normally do. So I might grab one in store and then wait for the one that I ordered at the cheaper price to arrive, and then return whichever one looked better at the full price that I did in store.
Yeah, there
But
you go.
I try to do less of that kind of stuff with MGS, just because I don't want them to have as many returns.
Sure.
But yeah, whatever sale they're running, I think it was maybe 20% off all Star Wars products one weekend. I think I locked in like $29.99 or something like that on, or $28.99 on
Yeah. What's
that
retail
order.
on it? 34.
What's that?
What was the retail on it? Yeah, 34.99.
Retail's $34.99, and I think I locked it in for let's see. Well, yeah, it was 15% off a toy purchase, and then 5%, so 20% off.
Nice. Look at you, man, saving
Ended up
money.
being $29 or so, $28, something like that. Yeah, check your Target apps. There's stuff that pops up all the time. I think right now I've got like a $5 off 40. It would be good if for that ends today.
Yeah.
So they know that there's a ton of new product out tomorrow, so they don't want your coupons going into tomorrow. But
right.
There's always some good stuff. There's a lot of toy discounts and stuff. Just take a peek at the wallet thing in the Target app and see what's there, because I'll frequently reorder something at a cheaper price.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Circle Week or whatever is starting tomorrow.
I do see that. Yeah, all next week, 10/6 through 10/12.
I don't know what that means though. Get ready for
it says
7.
Save with deals on thousands of items. So who knows? But
nice.
We'll see.
Legos, 30% off select Legos.
I'll tell you what I've had my eye on.
Yeah.
Is Lego Optimus Prime.
Oh, really? The big one?
Pretty cool set. He's pretty big. Yeah, he's a big boy. Pretty cool set. I did get my new Studio Series 86 Optimus in today. Brand new release. It's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Nice.
Really cool. October, man. It's relentless. There's stuff. I've got Transformers stuff coming in all weekend. All this Star Wars stuff is hitting this same weekend. Yeah. Black Series and Micro Galaxy is just relentless this weekend. Yep. Transformers stuff this weekend. I'm glad
I did
some
see
of
some
it was
of the
paid
Black
off
Series
already.
Stuff show up. Although the Balin looks great. I think if I find a Balin, I'll probably pick that up.
They're not the best likenesses, but I think they look a lot better with the cloaks.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm glad I waited. I do know there's a mod that I saw a lot of people doing back when the other ones released with the legs, where you can get them like the correct height, but I'm not sure I'll go to that length, but
yeah, agreed. Well, we also before we close it out here, there was somebody that leaked some Series 8 stuff, maybe some potential listings, which is interesting. Well, we don't even have Series 7 yet, do we? We don't have Series 7. We already saw what Series 7 is going to be.
I believe they did a live stream of Series 7, Kevin.
Yes, that's right. Series 7, we already know what's coming in Series 7. So Series 8, there was like the
two items, I believe, right? Were kind of added to the ongoing list, which has not been batting. Those haven't been 100%. They've been close to 100, but yeah, they're
definitely not in order. But the items have, but not really in order yet. Because the other ones that came out too, we haven't seen those. Those could potentially be coming in the future.
Could be, yeah.
Like the Azure Angel and all that jazz.
For sure. I mean more like the wave. If
Yes.
if it shows up, I think it's safe to assume that that product is coming at some
Hmm.
point. But
Yeah.
the actual wave lineup has not been totally accurate with those.
Oh yeah, agreed. But yeah, the
Um,
T-70, oh man, Armada, like
that's a what? So yeah, that it's an Armada release of the T-70 black and orange
black
one.
and
Is that
orange.
right?
Yeah. Which I
Which
can
would
imagine the only
be
update is BB-8's dome is just going to have the panels on it. That could be the only thing you could update with it. Like, what else
which
would
we
you do?
already got in the collector's box.
Right. Yeah, I
Did
just
his
don't know.
helmet have updated? His helmet was fairly. Was that Series
I
3?
guess he didn't have his Rebel logo on the helmet.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I think would be a
Better one.
much safer bet.
Yeah.
That one is probably still available on Amazon right now if I went to look.
Yeah, I would
You know
imagine
what I
so.
mean?
Hmm.
My gut would be Mr. Jazzwares, if you're looking at things to add to the Armada lineup, don't make it ships that are still available on Amazon at retail or less than retail.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't
Maybe
get
it's
it.
not that simple. I don't know what all goes into that, but that would be my thinking at the very least is if it's cheaper on Amazon than retail, don't re-release it.
Could you imagine if we got an Armada V-wing with the updated dome
Dude.
on the head of the droid?
Listings on Amazon right now are kind of in shambles. It's so hard to find stuff now.
Yeah.
That they've got these combined listings for a lot of them. To be honest, it might be easier just to.
Yeah, so Marok's Fiend Fighter is the chase. It is the chase for the Starfighter class. Maul's Night Brother Gauntlet is the rare, which I am super excited that that's the rare because that thing looks sick.
Those are both cool repaints, I think.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
great use of a repaint.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
at least currently, third-party sellers are selling it for $35.
The T-70 black.
Yes, that blows my mind because it was available for so long,
Yeah.
but it is $30 on $36.99 on Amazon. So,
Hmm.
um, what do I know? Except that I've bought a lot of Poes this last year.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's probably part of it. I feel like we got so many Poes so fast that we got two
Yes,
in
we
one
did.
wave, and then we got one in the next. Oh, 2 waves later.
Yeah.
Series
Yep.
3 had two, and then we got one in Series 5. Is that right?
Correct.
So for us to get a re-release of one, it just feels like a whole lot of Poe.
Yep.
But maybe they're looking at that price, and I don't know. It says over 200 bought in the past month.
So it must be popular enough.
I guess we'll see. I am starting to see, some bows when I go to Targets. There's still some
A
some
lot.
Bo-Katans sitting around.
Yeah, Bo-Katans are going to slow down the restocks for sure
Yeah,
because get through two series of restocks, and you got maybe two or three of those. And the Fang Fighter has just been sitting there as well. Seen
because they
so
were
many.
double packed in a lot of the cases. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's
I
amazing.
know I know it's a new mold, and it's a technically it could be like a fleet builder, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the demand is for that. One was fine. One was enough for me.
Hmm. Yeah, I think if
Yeah.
they discount them, I could get excuse me, a couple more.
That's
Whew.
how you know. That's how you know it's time. Time to call it.
Yeah, I mean I've been yawning this whole time.
Any pressing questions from the chat here at the end? I think we covered everything, right?
I think so.
What was the other item? There was the Armada Poe, and then we saw one other Series 8 item, right?
It was one of the rares, I think. It was man, I can't remember offhand.
Kevin.
Can't remember offhand. It was I don't know if David's still on here or not. He was the one that posted it. Um, it was not anything unique though.
I don't remember being blown away by any of them.
Yeah.
But it was only 2 items, so who knows what could be in it. It was the AAT with Battle Droid.
Oh yes, that's right. The rare. It's the
So
rare
do
one.
we? And since it's a chase, do we think this could be the blue?
That would make sense. You could honestly do. There's probably 4 or 5 different colors you could do of that.
Yeah. At 5,000, I think those will fly off the shelves.
Yeah.
For
Agreed.
sure, especially if it's the blue cis or whatever.
I love the blue ones, so that way I don't have to try to paint one that way because it's a pain to do that. So much taping.
And then Walmart has a Series 9 listing for the ATDP.
Nice.
So it might be a while.
It'll be interesting to see.
Steve, I won't showcase mine until I get all those signs like you've got from eBay. That guy that 3D prints all the signs.
Oh yeah.
That's what I've for a long time I've been wanting to do that. And then I saw Steve's post where he found a guy on eBay that prints and paints different movie logos basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to get so my shelves on the sides here are basically different movies with 6-inch figure. I've got like MGS on the top row, MGS on the bottom row, but then it's like A New Hope, ESB, Return of the Jedi, prequels, Mandoverse or Disney Plus, and then sequel trilogy, Micro Galaxy, top and bottom.
Nice.
But my hope was to get a little sign that's like Star Wars or A New Hope, whatever, and then get Empire Strikes Back and have those kind of in the middle of the shelves there. I'd love to get a Rebels one too for a Rebels shelf. But yeah, I would print them if I had the files. I've got a printer. I just need I need to find those files somehow. Maybe I can hit the guy up on eBay and just see if he'll send me the files for some fee.
Yeah. I do know, I'll tell you in a second. So in review for what's coming tomorrow at Target, it is the Pod Racer set, it's the Blue U-Wing, and the T-6. Those are all going to be, they should be, that's at least what's...
And at least as of right now, only the Pod Racer page is live.
Yeah.
So that's the only one where you'd be able to look for in-store numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a guy...
But it's a lot. Looking at the list, when I had him scan the barcode and pull up the list of stores, almost every store had at least a case of 2, if not 2 cases. Most stores had 4 T6s. And I think they had 3 or 4 of the... Yeah, that looks great. Love those. Love little signs like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 3 items you should be able to find at Target starting in the morning. But as always, your mileage is going to vary for sure.
Yeah.
Some places will have them out. Some places will have sold out early. Who knows?
Yeah, some places have probably already sold out.
If you check my page, I've got the barcodes on there labeled, and they should be able to pull up the barcodes and scan them for you. And they ought to be able to tell you which stores in your area have them. So that post was 3 days ago, a couple posts ago. So hopefully that can help you out. Awesome. It'll be fun. I'll be out there at some point tomorrow trying to track down the U-Wing, and maybe we'll see about the Pod Racer. I don't know if I want to just wait for it to come in the mail or try to grab it a day or 2 early. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say of the ones that I'm the most interested in, the T6 for sure. I could
it's
find
amazing.
T6 and I would be fine. And then
it is a home run. I would put it like right under the Ghost, right around the AT-AT is like some of the best stuff in the line for sure.
Yeah.
I would say it's like a must own for most microgalaxy collectors.
I would agree.
Unless you hate Disney Plus or Rebels or something.
Mm-hmm. And even still get it.
Even still, go out and buy it and support the line, you animals.
Yep. Awesome. Well,
It's
I think
for
that's all.
30, seriously, for $30, it's an amazing value, I think.
Agreed. So we will try to be back again in a couple weeks. So we're going to try to stick on the every other week cadence here if we can. So, yep, absolutely. Thanks for everybody for joining in and hanging with us here for 2 hours and 10 minutes. We appreciate all of that. Thanks.
Hey, Howl Runner, check your PO box. I think that Hera finally might have made it to you from the 2 streams ago or last stream.
Oh, nice.
It took me a while to get that one out, the giveaway.
Sweet. Yep. Thanks, everybody. We will plan on catching up with you here in a couple weeks. Good luck tomorrow for everybody that's going hunting.
Yeah, good luck at Target.
See ya.
Check the top shelf.
Check the top shelf at Walmart. Target doesn't have a top shelf. Maybe the bottom shelf. See ya.